Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to episode 46.
46, first one of the new year.
Of the Calypso Cigar Review podcast. First one of the new year, yeah.
First one of the new year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, folks.
Happy New Year.
No, it's going to be a year. It'll happen.
That's
man.
Friends.
I know.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Somebody kiss me. Somebody kiss me.
Chandler kisses him.
No, Joey kisses Chandler, right?
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, we opened with a Friends reference.
Yes, we did. Starting off right. So today we are reviewing
A cigar I've never had.
that I have had, and I liked it a lot, but it's something that's seasonal.
It only comes out once a year.
And this one's actually from last year.
Yep, so it's aged a year. We'll see how it goes.
And this is the Arturo Fuente 858 Sungrown.
In unison.
Yep. So I've heard lots of good things about these, and I've had one or two in my time and liked them.
It's our first Fuente that we're reviewing.
We've done
the Newman with the El Baton when Rick Polar was on with us, but we haven't done an actual Fuente.
And it's got the little cloth band on it, black cloth band, black
cloth band,
black
and it's
cloth
got
band.
the cedar wrap on it as well. And we don't have our cedar spills again.
But we can light with this cedar.
We can. That's what I was thinking.
See how that works?
Although this has tape on it.
Yeah, it does. But you don't light that side.
Oh, you don't?
No. You can use this little bitty piece right here.
I'm going to light the cloth.
You're going to light the cloth? I wouldn't do that.
They don't want you to smoke this cigar.
They don't. They make it pretty difficult to get the damn, all the stuff off there.
Okay, there we go.
So right off the bat, smells sun-growny.
Smell like a Fuente. Somebody told me Fuente cigars smell the best. I have no idea. I've never picked that up myself.
They smell like cigars, but it does have that sweet kind of bitterness that you get with the sun-grown.
You know, and I must admit, I'm not a big sun-grown guy.
Yeah, I've been becoming a fan of
the last couple I've had, I've liked. So go figure. Okay. I removed the tape from my cedar.
Okay.
So now I won't be lighting tape.
And
I don't have my Royal Gold lighter, so I'm going to have to borrow yours.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give it a cut. Now, before we do that, let's talk about the construction here. It's a little veiny.
But not overly so. Bless you.
Snuff.
A little oily.
Yep.
Like we said, probably about 12 and a half months of age on it.
Pretty bumpy. I mean, you would say that's
got
pretty
that
toothy.
Fuente, nice Fuente.
It's over there.
Oh, it's that camera.
Yep.
I thought we were recording from here.
No, we're using that camera, but we're using this audio.
Oh, okay.
So you got that beautiful Fuente band that is very iconic.
That you don't know what it means.
Yep. But the black bands, when they have the black on the band,
that's the more premium
it's
stuff.
the more premium stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how you can tell what you're getting.
So when Pedro bitches about the Fuente band, I can tell him. Pedro drives Pedro crazy about the bands on this cigar.
Yeah, it does.
And we were going to have Pedro on a mini-sode, and we will eventually. But
your steer spill?
Yeah, I've got it. Hang on, let me cut. I haven't cut yet. Something very exciting happened to Pedro, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. And hopefully, within the next couple of weeks, we'll have Pedro on to describe it himself.
Yeah.
But it was very cool, and we're very proud of him. Okay, I'm ready to light.
All right, so I'm going to give your little cedar spill a light there. Boom, fire. Check that out. Didn't know that was going to happen, did you?
Who would have thought with a lighter causing fire?
Right. I'm still wrapping my cedar spill up here. Oh, holy crap.
Alrighty. Well, the cold draw was wide open. This is the Florida Fina 858 Sungrown.
Having some difficulties with my spill.
Great size. I like this size.
Yummy. I lit mine like absolute crap. I just totally burned one side of it, but it's a Fuente, so I'm expecting it to catch up.
Yep, it probably will.
So right off the bat, there's a good amount of spice. Very earthy.
Yep.
Very earthy.
I had to start that stopwatch. Sorry, that's why I was distracted.
Oh no, we got that.
Oh, we got that there.
Yeah, we have a timer.
Oh, we're good. Never mind. Fuck the stopwatch.
Yes, fuck that stopwatch. So our first official Fuente review. That's crazy. We've
That
done
is weird. We've done 46
of these.
This is 45 episodes plus, what, 13 or 14 minis? And
50.
who knows how many quickies and just around. It just shows how many great cigars there are out there.
Yeah, that's true.
To review.
Yep. And we had the El Baton, and we had
Which is a Newman cigar.
Yeah. And then that was it.
That's it.
Wow, that's crazy.
We've talked about doing numerous times, and we just never have. Now, I did a Fuente. Cheers, by the way.
Yeah,
This is
cheers.
Tomatin 12.
Tomatin 12. We're pairing with Tomatin 12.
Just a mini review from last night. Pedro gave me the work of art Maduro. Another Fuente, obviously. It's in the Hemingway line. It's also a seasonal. And I'd had one about 3 years ago when the Mavs were in the finals. A friend gave me that.
Okay.
And that's a good stick. That is a good cigar. You
Yeah.
gotta find a work of art. Jump on it. That's a tasty smoke.
Yep. Work of art and the Work of Art Maduro, both very good.
That's what I had was the Maduro, yeah.
And then they have the bestseller line also, which is slightly larger than the Work of Art, and that also comes in a Maduro.
Yeah, tasty. You know, Fuente makes great stuff. A lot of people don't know that Fuente makes most of Ashton's stuff as well. Which is why that Casa Fuente store in Vegas only sells Fuente and Ashton.
That makes sense.
It do. Okay, so tell the Pedro story real quick. Brian Setzer, if you don't know, he was the lead singer of the Stray Cats. He now is a big band, has a big band swing kind of thing going on. And every year he shows up in Texas at Christmas time because he's big into Christmas music and such. But he's also big in the rockabilly aspect of music. He was heavily influenced by the artists of the 50s, Elvis and Chuck Berry and all those people. And Pedro was able to get a connection, and like I said, we're not going to run the whole story, but Pedro was able to get to go meet Brian Setzer the other night, and he took his dad's guitar, it's a Gibson from 1957, and he took it. Brian Setzer was blown away by it, asked if he could play it on stage. Pedro said it's not in good shape. Brian Setzer's guitar tech looked at it, said, "You start the concert, I'll bring it out to you. I can get this fixed." So Brian Setzer got the guitar and sang Rock Around the Clock and Shake, Rattle, and Roll with Bill Haley's guitar, and we're very proud of Pedro. He said it was such a blur, he doesn't really remember much about it. He was so nervous and so excited. So thumbs up to Pedro and thumbs up to Brian Setzer for doing that. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's way cool. Rock and roll history in the making.
And it's on YouTube. You can find it, and you can hear Brian Setzer play the guitar and sing
just
those
look
songs.
up Brian Setzer
Bill Haley's
plays
guitar.
Bill Haley's guitar or something like that,
yeah.
And that'll do it for you.
So did you have a nice Christmas holiday season?
Yeah, we did.
Season?
Season? Texas.
Yeah. Jeez, it came through.
Yeah, we did definitely have a nice Christmas this year. The kids all got stuff that they wanted. And I got stuff that I bought for myself, which is always good. Because then you know what you get,
See, my ex-wife said it was always impersonal because I would do the gift card thing. I'd give people gift cards. That's impersonal. No, it's not. They get to get what they want.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Exactly.
If they want to blow it on a movie, blow it on a movie. I don't care.
Yep. Or get a guy a Best Buy gift card and he's your buddy for life.
Exactly. Yeah, so quiet Christmas on my end, but, the day off and time to relax. And because Matt goes on vacation, or he's actually on vacation right now. It's me running the store open to close for 10 days.
Yikes. That's money, though, but damn.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
But he's not here, so I could sit down.
Right.
I'll get caught up on TV shows.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's when you need the Netflix box.
Yeah.
So, to give you a little info about this, if you don't already know, it is a Dominican Republic origin, obviously. Ecuadorian sun-grown wrapper, and Dominican binder and Dominican filler. So, it's a Fuente. It's Dominican. But
yeah, and it tastes great.
Yeah.
It's not strong. It's not complex. Fuentes typically aren't strong or complex. But they're, one note, but that note is freaking awesome. So I'm curious to see if this has any complexity or if it's just a flavor bomb all the way through like most Fuentes are.
Yep. I think they tend to get more complex the higher up you go in the line. When you get into the Don Carlos stuff and like some aged Opus, then you'll get some definite complexity to them.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the Padron stuff too. When you get into the lower lines of stuff like the standard Padron
Thousand Series.
they're not complex cigars, but they're tasty and they're consistent, and that's really what got them where they are, is the consistency. Be able to make the same cigar year in and year out, because they control the tobacco. That's the way to do it, and that's where a lot of cigar manufacturers fail. A lot of the new guys that come out put out these great cigars, but can they do it over and over again? And then 2-3 years down the road, it's not the same. People stop buying it. So.
I want to say something, and it's going to sound like an insult, but let me carry out my thought before you say that's an insult. Fuente to me is like the Budweiser of cigars.
Okay.
Not that Budweiser's a great beer by any stretch.
That's an insult.
And Fuente cigars are certainly better than Budweiser beer. But the fact that they can put out mass quantities of cigars year after year, day after day even, and still be consistent says a lot. But their consistency is better than Budweiser as far as quality.
Yeah, I can see
Look at that burn. That's razor burn.
Mine's not, because I screwed the light up.
Because you don't know how to light a cigar.
It was a damn cedar spill. It was all over the place.
Okay, you don't know how to light a cedar spill.
It was burning up the damn tube. I'm like, ah! I was holding it wrong.
Oh, you're a dork.
Yeah, we knew that already, though.
But you're my buddy dork, so nobody else can call you a dork but me.
You're my dork buddy. That sounds bad.
Yeah. Last week's episode was fun, or I think it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? The Blind Man's Puff thing. Last week's episode was fun, too, with Billy. Bloody Billy. Fun. And then week before that was Blind Man's Puff, which was a lot of fun, too. So, hope you guys are having fun. You can find us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker.
I hate to do this, but I have to correct this because it's getting bad.
Spreaker, YouTube, Podomatic,
iTunes.
Twitter. I said iTunes. Like and comment on any of those, and we will give you shout-outs. And we didn't give shout-outs the last two episodes, I don't think.
Yeah,
so
we were busy.
We'll
we
do
have things
some
to do. We don't have time for shout-outs.
Yeah.
No, we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll get some of this. We'll get caught up today. Might only do a few today, and then really get caught up next week. But with the holidays and everything, I took your stirrup, didn't I?
You got to take my spot.
But nice ash. Oh, look at that though. It is cracking.
Oh no.
So I won't be able to ash it much longer. But so far, so good.
Yeah, they are tasty. The 858 line is kind of like, I guess, the Fuente's version of the 2000, the 1000 series Padron.
Right.
And they've got the 858 Sungrown. They got the Sungrown Rosado. They got the
fell.
Maduro. They got the Naturals. They've got a bunch of different.
The Maduro's not a bad. It's actually a nice, pleasant Maduro for $6.
Mm-hmm. But it's that Fuente Maduro, so it doesn't have the sweetness that a lot of the Nicaraguan.
Chocolatey, but it does taste good. Mm-hmm. And I was going to say something, and I don't remember it.
They were words coming out of your mouth.
Yes.
Did you get anything for yourself for Christmas at all? Any Barry Manilow CDs? Barry Manilow box set or anything?
I already have all that, so I don't need it. No, I'm joking. Although the Blind Man's Puff people said I was a girl because of my Christmas list, so now they're really going to think I'm a girl when you mention I get Barry Manilow box sets, which I do own.
You might.
But anyway. I think it's manly to admit that you like Barry Manilow.
It definitely is manly to admit you like it, especially if you're not gay.
Yes, and I am not gay. I'm not gay.
No, either
I got a tablet.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's at all anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
I got a tablet. I've been wanting a tablet. I got a tablet.
Sweet. Very cool. Tablets are always good to have.
Yep.
And
it's a Big Chief tablet. You can write a whole bunch of
awesome.
stuff. No,
awesome. Those
you
are
remember
even
Big
better.
Chief tablets?
I love Big Chief tablets.
I do too.
That's always, it's like, when you're a kid,
you want school list,
yeah, it was on your shoe. I want the Big Chief. Well, we can't afford Big Chief. We're gonna get Little Chief or whatever the hell the generic one was. Yeah, and it just wasn't the same. It was
I want a Big Chief tablet.
Yeah, I want the big giant wide lines so I can draw shit in there and make all kinds of stories up.
Yep. So now I got a tablet, and that's kind of cool. So Matt gave me a Christmas bonus, and I got that. So
very
Christmas
cool
bonus on that. So that was cool. So thank you, Matt, for actually. Matt helped me get a car this year.
Yeah, he's helped you out a lot.
And then a couple of years ago, he knew I needed a laptop, and he gave me just the right amount of money on a bonus to get me a laptop. So
that's cool.
So that's cool. So thank you, Matt, and I hope you're having fun in Cozumel.
Yep, I got to go see my dad, and he's big in the music scene over there in Austin. He's not like people don't go see him to go play, but he goes and plays a lot. Yeah, he's not Bill Haley. But he goes and plays a lot with his friends on open mics and stuff, and does a lot with Antones and stuff over there. So he's in the blues scene. Mm-hmm. And he got a whole bunch of friends over, and they all play music, and there's like 3-4 different guitarists, 3-4 different drummers.
It's like the Allman Brothers. Then,
yeah, exactly, yeah. And they barbecued a whole bunch of stuff up. We had ribs and
Nice.
brisket and
Nice.
fajitas and everything that you could possibly want, and potatoes and the whole nine. And these guys all get together and they have a song list. They have like a set list of stuff that they know how to play.
Very
and you just get up there and I just get up there and sing with them.
Just jam and sing.
Yeah,
huh?
just jam and sing. And there's no monitors or anything, so you don't know what the hell you sound like. But it's still a blast, and it's so fun to do.
I got to while you were doing that. Excuse me. I got the neck up. Sorry.
Already, wow.
I went to karaoke. See my buddy Pop. I have a friend who's done karaoke for years. I've known him. We're going on 21 years now. I've known him, and the dude is 68, and you've heard him sing.
Yeah.
He can sing better than Roger Daltrey can now. I mean, he can still hit the notes on Who songs that Roger Daltrey can't hit anymore.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And so that was fun. Got to see him, and we did that Bing Crosby, David Bowie duet.
Yeah.
We did it last year, got a standing ovation. Did it this year. Standing ovation.
Nice.
Nice. So,
Nicely done, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah. He's on her.
I do the Bing Crosby part because I don't have that Bowie voice.
Yeah.
I was born in the wrong era. If I would have been born in the 40s, I would be a famous singer now because I've got that crooner voice.
Yeah.
But nobody likes crooners anymore. So.
Yeah, people like Mike Bublé. That guy's making a crap ton
Yeah,
of money.
he is. But I'm not as good as Michael Bublé.
Yeah. Not many people are. That's why he's Michael Bublé. And he's married to a hottie.
Well, yeah, if you're a musician and you're not married to a hottie, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Plus, he's got the whole Crudy thing. I mean, even Harry Connick Jr. was married to a hottie for a while there. I don't know if he
Jill
is anymore.
Goodacre.
Yeah. Jill.
I'm in a festival with Jill Goodacre. That's the second time we've quoted that line. But with who I don't think is all that hot, to be honest.
Who, Jill Goodacre?
Yeah.
She's all right. But, I mean,
There
he's
are
a weird,
hotter Jills.
He's a weird-looking dude anyway, so it's good for
You
him.
didn't even jump on that one.
Hotter Jills?
There
Yeah.
are hotter Jills out there in the world.
They're definitely hotter Jills. Jill from Jack and Jill. She's hot.
Yeah, I guess that's who I was talking about.
That's what we're saying, all right? I don't want to hear about fucking
I didn't say her name.
Jill Wagner again.
You said her name. I didn't say her name. So Todd Vance was in, and he's from North Carolina. And right before Christmas, he told me he was going to North Carolina.
From Esteban Carreras.
Yes, Todd Vance from
of
Esteban
Esteban Carreras fame and Calypso Cigar Review fame.
Yes, and I have a story. We have a story about that too.
Okay, go for it.
But he was mentioning all these famous people from North Carolina, and so I said, "Well, I know someone from North Carolina that you're not going to mention because I bet you don't even know her." And he said, "Who?" I said, "Jill Wagner." I said her name. Okay. I said, "Jill Wagner." He's like, "Dude, the Mercury chick, hottest fucking woman on the planet, and she went to North Carolina State." And he starts like reeling off her bio. I'm like, how the fuck? Do you have IMDb up? I mean, how the fuck do you know all this shit? He's like, "I watch Wipeout all the time. Hottest fucking woman on the planet." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Guess you do know her.
It's like, and now I have you as competition, and I'll have to kill you.
I will have to kill Todd. He's married though, so I'm cool.
Yeah, okay.
But
All
no,
right,
he
you're
told
good
us the story. This was really cool. He said, "Thank you guys, I'm famous." And we're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He said he was in Brandon, Mississippi, which ironically enough,
Brand, Missouri?
Mississippi,
okay.
Brandon, Mississippi is in Rankin County, Mississippi. Is that weird? That's
is
pretty
weird.
cool, huh? He was in Brandon, Mississippi, and he walked into a store and he said, "Hi, I'm Todd Vance with Esteban Carreras." And this guy said, "I know you. You were on that podcast from that cigar store in Texas." So we have listeners in Brandon, Mississippi. Thank you guys.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And so, yeah, they recognized Todd from our show. So
That's
very
cool. Very cool. All right, so I'm about at the end of the first third.
Yeah, and my ash fell off. I did not ash it.
And
It
my
fell
ash
off.
is still holding on. I did correct it a little
It's
bit, but it looks pretty
falling
good. It's getting ready to
it's
fall,
gonna
yeah.
fall, yeah.
It's going to fall on my laptop.
But this
I don't-
cigar is very
dang it.
tasty, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes.
Yep. So we're going to take a little break real quick, and we'll come back for the second third of the 858 Sungrown. Year-old, baby.
And the Esteban Carreras
Creature feature.
Car 55, this is dispatch. We have a 211 in progress in your area. Please respond.
Dispatch, this is Car 55. We are in the vicinity and on our way. Did you say this was a 211?
Yes, 211, robbery in progress.
211. That reminds me of that great cigar by Esteban Carreras, the 211. Man, I could go for one of those right now.
Okay, whatever. We have a farmer in the area whose goats are getting stolen. And this is where it gets weird, saying it's a chupacabra.
A chupacabra? Are you kidding me? Man, that's another great cigar by Esteban Carreras.
Whoa, hold on now. Let's keep our focus here. I mean, this guy called in a 187 on his prize-winning goat, Mary.
187? You're killing me here. Yet another great cigar by Esteban Carreras. I just think this guy sounds crazy.
Yeah, you might just want to call in a 5150 and call it a day, you know what I mean?
5150, that's it. You call a paddy wagon, I'm turning around and going to the Calypso Cigar Shop in Richardson for an Esteban Carreras cigar.
Hey, that sounds great. Can I join you?
Absolutely.
Esteban Carreras cigars. It'd be a crime not to smoke them. Remix version. All right, everybody, we're back for the second,
Funky
third.
Cold Medina. That just made me want to
Funky
say that.
Cold Medina. All right, we're back for the second third of the Arturo Fuente 858 Sungrown with a year on it, which is nice.
Very nice cigar. Very tasty.
Got that Fuente flavor.
It does. I almost think I could blind smoke that and know it was a Fuente. And you know I can do that because remember I made that statement that anytime I smoke a Cuban, I know I'm smoking a Cuban.
Yeah.
And then you gave me that cigar that was unbanded a few months ago. And I was about a third way through it, and I said, this is a Cuban. And he went, how the fuck do you know this stuff?
What the hell was that? I don't
I
even
don't
remember
remember,
what the
but
hell
it was
gave
because
me.
you were like, because you were trying to trick me because I had made that bold statement that I could pick out a Cuban anytime I smoke one. And then you were like, damn it, how did you know? I'm like, just know stuff, man.
You know things. My palate knows things.
It's because my palate rocks. That's where I make my money. What little money I make.
Yeah, right.
Matt needs to listen to these so he knows to pay me more. I need $50 an hour to make you holler. No, right? That was
I need $50 to make you holler. I get paid
to do the wild thing. One of three
Now we
rap
have to-
songs I know the words
And now
to.
we have to pay rights for that.
It's less than 30 seconds.
Somewhere
We're
Tone
good.
Loc smoking a cigar going, oh, hell no. You owe me money, motherfucker.
Actually, Young MC wrote that. Did you know that?
Yep. He also Bust a Move, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, Bust a Move, You Can't Touch This, and Wild Thing are the only three rap songs I know all the words to.
Yep. You don't know Ice Ice Baby?
No, I like black rap. Yeah, Young MC and Tone Loc.
Yeah. It's a kind of pop rap, really.
Yeah, whatever.
Pretty much.
Yep.
All right, so it's getting to that time, isn't it?
It's that time, Brandon.
Time for the Esteban Carreras Creature Feature.
Esteban Carreras Creature Feature.
Today's Esteban Carreras Creature Feature is brought to you by the Chupacabra, and today we are reviewing
Private Eyes. It's a comedy. It's not a scary movie in any way, shape, or form.
But we wanted to watch it again, so hey.
And it was over the holidays. We knew we weren't going to get a chance to watch anything. So,
Yeah.
Private Eyes with the comedy legends and geniuses of Don Knotts
And Tim Conway.
And Tim Conway wrote the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
And you can tell.
and I'm not lying. I swear to God, if you put that movie on and me and my brother were sitting here, you wouldn't hear one word of the movie because we would quote the entire. I know that movie, and I have memorized that movie.
Yeah, that was one of those movies that I latched onto as a kid, and it was on HBO all the time. So anytime it was on, I would watch it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And my dad would be like, "Oh, you're watching that movie? Hold on." He'd sit and he'd watch it too. And then my mom would come in. "Oh my God, you're watching that?" And she'd
I
sit
even
and watch
remember
it
the
too.
music to it. And it's a takeoff on the old mystery movies
Yep.
where they get called in to solve a murder at this palatial palace. I mean, this is a castle. And I think it's in Georgia, although the movie takes place in England. But this house that they filmed this in is in Georgia, and it's like 270-something rooms. This thing is humongous. And Inspector Winship, Inspector Winthorpe?
Winship
and Dr. Tart.
Tart. Dr. Tart. I love the name.
That's Tim Conway, Don Knotts.
Yep.
They're from the yard. No, they were in the yard. No, from the yard.
Even it starts with a very Pink Panther-ish cartoon intro, which is great. You know,
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of gives away the movie a little bit.
It really does,
Kind of gives
yeah.
away the movie at that intro. But don't watch the intro except for, don't pay attention to the intro. Just watch it for the amusement.
put it
part.
on,
But
go get your beer, go get
Yeah.
your coffee, whatever you're drinking,
But,
and popcorn.
Just a hilariously written movie. Oh, anyway, so I was saying, so they're called in. There was a murder, a cigar tie-in.
Yeah.
It starts off with this old couple. They're getting ready to go to a party. And he realizes he's forgotten his cigars. And he calls them smokes. And his wife hates that. She's
Yeah.
like, cigars. So he's got this awesome humidor, which we see later in the movie.
Yeah.
But so he goes, gets them, comes back out. Wife's been killed. He gets thumped on the head. Car gets driven in the water. Boom, they're dead. So Inspector Winship and Dr. Tart get called in on the case. And like I said, it's that old 1930s, 1940s style where they interview all the staff and all this kind of stuff. And meanwhile, the staff starts getting knocked off one by one.
Yep.
It's
very 10 Little Indians.
Yeah, very 10 Little Indians. And the dialogue is hilarious. I mean, you find some quotes.
It makes you wonder, because it is Tim Conway, how much of that was in the script that he wrote and how much of that was ad-lib.
Well, you got
the guy is an ad-lib genius.
Well, you got two. Did you ever watch that clip that I wanted you to
Yes.
Is that hilarious?
It is awesome, yeah.
I mean, he had Dick Van Dyke rolling on the floor. It was that awesome on that one clip. There's a Carol Burnett clip. Just type in Tim Conway elephant story on YouTube and you'll laugh your ass off. But yeah, Tim Conway, Don Knotts, how is there not going to be improv in that with those guys?
Yeah, see, this is one of the lines that it had to be an improv, but it could have also been written. But, Dr. Tart, Hilda's dead, and there's something to note. You can't bury her at sea because your bosoms will float. The killer writes these little limericks.
Yeah, every time someone dies, and one of the staff of this house dies, there's a note attached to him, and it's a poem. And the poem doesn't rhyme. That's the only one that does rhyme, but it's like Jacques, how's it go? I said I can memorize them. I had the movie memory. Jacques was dead. If Jacques were alive,
if Jacques could talk, he'd give you a clue. But now that he's dead, what can you do? He deserved what he got.
I don't
regret it a bit. By the way, you're standing in bull caca. I look down, like...
oh, shit, there's another one where it says... somebody's out and roaming the moors. If you want to be safe, lock all your windows and screens. And the funny thing is Don Knotts doesn't get this at all. He just wants to go try to solve it. Tim Conway will sit there and stand like trying to figure out why didn't that rhyme? What was the word he should have used to make that rhyme? It's hilarious. And there's this one scene where they're interviewing the hot chick, the daughter of Lord and Lady Morley, who were the ones that got killed at the beginning. And Mistress Phyllis, and she's smoking hot.
Yeah, she is.
Smoking hot. And she's explaining what she was doing the night when she found out that Lord and Lady Morley died. And she starts explaining that she was wearing the see-through gown, and she starts pulling up her dress to show just where the gown came down to, and they're just kind of like staring.
Yeah.
And Don Knotts, there's a pause, and Don Knotts goes, "No, did you get that?" It's like, what? What she said? I forgot to take legs. Notes. It's just funny humor like that. It's almost childlike, but it's hilarious. The movie's a classic.
Yeah, definitely kid friendly, but there is some adult humor for the adults.
Yes,
so
there is.
Yeah,
because like I said, Mistress Phyllis is fucking hot.
Yeah, she is.
Now the only person you probably would know from this movie was Bernard Fox, who played Dr. Bombay. Dr. Bombay, come right away, from Bewitched, and it's. I could watch that movie today and then watch it again tomorrow, and I wouldn't think I'd wasted any time. It's a hilarious movie. You have any trivia or something?
I do, yeah. The note, yeah. Okay, we just mentioned that. The note on Hilda's body is the only one that actually rhymes. Shot in 30 days with a budget of $2.3 million.
And it did like $25 million, so it made money. That was a moneymaker. And I remember when it came out, everyone said it was a bomb. Because they had previously been in the Apple Dumpling Gang, which was a huge hit.
Yeah.
And so people were expecting, they're expecting, $80 million from this movie, and then it did 25 to 30, and on a $2.5 million budget. Hell yeah! Studios will take that every day of the week.
Yep. Most scenes were shot in sequential order, which is odd for movies. Usually they don't do that. The Morley Mansion is actually the Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina.
North Carolina. I thought it was Georgia.
In many films. Yep. Filmmakers had to insure the house for $400 million. Wow.
Wow.
And it wasn't filmed on a set. It was filmed at the actual
house.
Cool.
Wow. And there's this one scene where Mistress Phyllis is walking them through the house and showing them around, and they're winded because they've gone through this. And Tim Conway goes, or Dr. Tart says, "How many rooms you got in this place?" 272. It's small, but we call it home. And then there's this scene where they see the humidor, and they're like, "Oh, I wonder if we should go in the humidor and check out the cigars." And they open up, there's this Doberman in there. That's what you need. You need a Doberman to guard your humidor.
No kidding. That'd be awesome. Some more trivia here. When Lord Morley's car was driven into the lake, it sank into the mud, and the stunt driver nearly drowned.
I remember hearing about that.
Yep.
I have to relight because it always happens during the freaking creek.
During the shoot, a priceless book went missing from the library in the mansion, and Tim Conway was accused of stealing it.
Really?
Wow. Don Knotts had mono during the production.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I do remember on the DVD, I didn't watch it this time, but I've watched the director's commentary before, and Tim Conway's on it. He said he loves Don Knotts. They loved working together and everything. He said, but Don Knotts was a grouch, and they'd ride into the set because the nearest hotel that they could find was like 30 miles away. So he had a 45-minute drive every morning with Don Knotts. And he said he was not a morning person, and Don Knotts would bitch about everything. That tower looks old. Those tires are really... It's just he'd complain about everything. It's like he would look for random stuff just to complain about, just to irritate.
Probably did it on purpose.
Probably.
Was the first film ever released by TriStar Pictures. Wow.
Wow.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
That is cool.
Let's see here.
TriStar was huge in the 80s.
The Wookalar.
The Wookalar. That's the reason why we tried to sneak this in as a creature feature.
The Wookalar was played by the production company's investment banker Bernard Rosny.
What the Wookalar was it's a creature that Tim Conway keeps mentioning throughout the movie, and Don Knotts actually at one point tells us, quit talking about it. This thing doesn't exist. I don't want to talk about it. And apparently it's this half pig, half man, and it eats goats and sucked its brains right through its nose.
Yep.
That's one line he says. We keep saying it over and over. And then at the end, we realize there is a Wookalar, so that's funny. But
and there was a sequel planned where they were going to hunt and capture the Wookalar, and it never got made.
That's too bad.
Yeah, that sucks.
That would have been great.
Yep.
Because that wound up being their... They did a movie called The Prize Fighter right after, which was pretty bad. But that's too bad. I wish they'd have worked more together.
Yeah, I do too. They were great. One of the great comedy duos, really.
You know, Tim Conway works great with everybody. He did some funny movies with Harvey Korman, or he did a funny movie. Did you ever see The Long Shot with Harvey Korman?
Yeah.
That's a funny movie.
Yeah.
But just two genius comedy guys at the height of their talent. Funny. I can't recommend this movie enough. This movie is hilarious. I will probably watch it tomorrow.
And it's a giggle fest. I mean, it's not. There's a couple moments that are laugh out loud hilarious, but for the most part, you'll find yourself giggling through the entire movie.
Yeah.
Which is, my wife is like, what are you watching up there? She's I'm like, I'm watching Private Eye. She's like, oh my God, that one with Tim Conway? I'm like, yeah. She's like, that movie's so goofy. I'm like, yeah, but it's hilarious.
That's what makes it awesome.
It's hilarious. But it's that innocent humor that's just, it's just funny. It's just great. You don't get that nowadays. I mean, now it's all R-rated raunchy stuff, and there's very little of that around. But it's from a different time. I mean, it's the 80s, and really it was more from the 70s, dragged into the 80s,
in the
kicking
80s.
and screaming.
And they were trying to recreate the 30s and 40s too.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of innocence in there. But man, some funny stuff. I mean, like I said, my brother and I used to we'd be driving around, like going to a bar to try to pick up girls, and all of a sudden he'd quote a line from Private Eyes. The next thing you know, we'd be doing the whole fucking movie. So it's just, if you watch it, it will get under your skin. My ex-wife hadn't seen it, and she loved Don Knotts and Tim Conway, so I played it for her. Tried not to quote lines out loud, tried to just let the movie play.
Yeah.
She loved it. She was like, I can't believe I've never seen this movie. This movie's hilarious. So.
Yeah, and that's one of those movies that I've seen it so many times as a kid, even having not seen it in probably close to 20 years. Just remembering lines and just start spouting them off. Yeah. And my wife was like, God, how many times have you seen this? I'm like, oh, probably more times than I've seen Star Wars easily, because it was just always on,
It might be my most watched movie now that I think about it. Because it played on cable all the time in the early 80s. And then my aunt bought wasn't a laser disc. Remember those hard plastic squared?
That was a laser disc, but it was a laser disc with a sleeve, and you put that in, and yeah.
She had it on Laserdisc, and we watched it every time we go over to my aunt's, who lived across the street from us, so we saw her a lot. Can we watch Private Eyes?
Yep, that was when Laserdiscs were more like records, and they didn't have all the protective covering on them. So they would, if you didn't use that sleeve or whatever, they get scratched up and get all messed up, and then they fixed Laserdisc, but then Laserdisc went away.
Yeah.
I was still a big Laserdisc nerd up until
you told me about that.
Like DVDs were out, and I'm like, DVDs, blah, it's never gonna Laserdisc is the best.
Yeah, we probably wore out 2 movies on her Laserdiscs. One was Private Eyes, and the other one was Rocky 3. I think we watched both those movies 100 times on her Laserdiscs.
Yeah. See, I had my grandfather had a Laserdisc, one of the old Laserdisc players like that with the plastic sheet, and you shove it in there. And he had a few movies, and I remember it was the first time I ever got to watch Saturday Night Fever because he had the PG-rated version.
Oh, really?
Which I mean, he didn't know. He thought that was the movie. He's like, oh, it's Saturday Night Fever. I've seen it a million times.
Right.
But he had the PG, and that was back when they would do that. They don't do that nowadays. They'd put out the PG version and the R version, so you had an option.
Yeah.
And they'd edit the movie down and cut out all the sex and blood and everything.
I hated that.
Yeah, I did too. But when I was a kid, I'm like, yeah, I saw Saturday Night Fever at Grandpa's. She's like, what? She got all mad. She's like talking to her dad. He's like, oh, I've seen it a million times. She's like, there's like boobs and everything. Like, there is? Like, yeah. He's like, no, not on mine.
There's one scene where a guy just like pulls the girl's top down.
Yeah, but it's not on the PG version. Yeah. Like they dubbed out the bad word. It was like the TV version, really. But
now, I've told before that my mom let me watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre when I was 5. But we actually saw Saturday Night Fever in the theater when I was 7 or 8, whenever that came out. Now I got this.
Yeah.
But that's too late when the guy just pulls the girl's top down and there's boobs.
Yeah.
Might be the first boobs I ever saw was at Saturday Night Live, now that I think about it. But
Saturday Night Fever, not Saturday Night Live.
Fever. I'm sorry, Fever. And but I wanted to see the girl's boobs in Private Eyes. That chick was hot.
Yeah, she was.
Mistress Phyllis.
Mm-hmm. She was.
And remember the scene with there's a scene. I'm going to spoiler alert this, but this is a 30-year-old movie.
Yeah, 80s.
When they've got the whole staff lined up, and Inspector Winchett and Dr. Tart are walking by and interviewing each one, trying to get, who are you and blah, blah, blah. And the maid has this tray with this, like, decanter and this, like, little glass. And Don Knotts is like, do you mind? And she's like, if you want. So he takes it. What is this? I believe it's ink. I believe it's made of buzzard pus. So, in great comedic fashion, you have to have a callback.
Yeah. There's
a scene where Don Knotts is all stressed out, and Tim Conway just real serious goes, "You want another glass of buzzard pus?" Oh, great movie.
Yeah, very funny movie. Not scary at all. So we just wanted to do it as a creature feature because it's a callback to a kinder, gentler time, and
it's got two of my favorite people of all
really
time
funny,
in it.
Really funny movie.
Yeah.
So definitely check out Private Eyes if you haven't. It's pretty hard to find at this point. I don't even know if it's on DVD.
It is on DVD.
Okay.
And you can, if you have a movie trading company or a used movie store, you can get it on Amazon actually.
Yeah.
So get it on Amazon. It's a hilarious movie.
For sure. So that ends today's Esteban Carreras Creature Feature.
Esteban Carreras Cigars. Super premium cigars at a great price. They're scary good.
We're going to put that on there now.
My candy cane.
All right. So we're still in the middle of the second third here, but we're going to take a little break. What do you think about the Arturo Fuente Sungrown?
I would smoke another one right afterwards.
Very easy smoke.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
not
easy. It's
strong.
effortless. It's not strong, but it does have flavor. It's got that Fuente-ness to it.
I would almost say it's mild.
It is mild.
I don't know if that's because it has a year on it. Mm-hmm. I remember the last one I smoked was not this mild, but it was also rot. So it may lose a little bit of the kick.
Yeah, it doesn't have any kick. It doesn't have any strength like we like usually. But we're cool enough that we like flavor, and this does have a great flavor to it. Mm-hmm. I would smoke this over an Ashton VSG.
Now
again.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now the retrohale does have a little spice. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't retrohaled, give it a go. Yeah. And it's got some spice to it. But yeah, overall, just a very mild tobacco with that sun-grown flavor that it's like a spicy earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tasty.
Yeah, it's spicy, but just not strong.
Yeah, exactly. It's got that spice that gives it the flavor, but it doesn't blast you out with the pepper or anything like that. The flavors marry very well. It's a very well-balanced smoke. Yeah.
Now, the Ashton VSG might be stronger. I haven't had a lot of them. I would say the Ashton VSG is a little stronger and a little more full-bodied than this, but I think this tastes better.
For the money, you can't go wrong. I mean,
it's half the price of a VSG, probably. Yeah.
I mean, to get a VSG in this price range, you'd have to go to the smallest one. Mm-hmm. And even then, I think it's $1 or $2 more. So, yeah. I would smoke these all day long over the VSG just because wallet-wise, it's better for me.
Yep.
But,
And I think flavor-wise, I think I like this better.
I'd have to smoke a VSG again to really determine that. But this is great. I mean, it's a tasty damn smoke. So.
Yep. Good job, Fuente.
Always good job, Fuente. That's why they're so awesome.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to take a little break.
What do you think of this Tomatin 12?
Tomatin 12 is awesome, man. Ooh, that's right in my microphone.
Right. I did it on purpose. Cause Brandon editing nightmares.
You dick. Yeah, Tomatin 12 is a great Scotch for the money.
It's a Highland.
$25 Highland Scotch. You can't go wrong. Single malt. tasty stuff. A little bit of peat, but mostly it's
one of the more sweet
sweet
scotches
kind
I've
of
ever had.
caramelly kind of.
It's almost a bourbon-like consistency.
Has a little bit of a floral note when you smell it, but you don't really get that when you drink it. So
You kind of get that bourbon texture. It has almost a bourbon texture to it.
it's tasty though. I like it. It's my new favorite
I
just
like
because
it
it's
a lot.
inexpensive.
Yeah.
Inexpensive. I can buy it on a regular basis, and it's tasty and it's yummy. So yeah,
It would be good night-night medicine.
it would be good night.
Oh, man, my cigar's dry. Did you hear that crunch? It was
Yeah,
right
I
into
did.
the mic.
Damn, dude.
What hell? What hell? What the hell? What hell?
What hell?
What hell happened?
Wow, this is going to offend our. What hell happened?
What happened? Oh, there's that scene with the Japanese guy
Yeah.
in Private Eyes where it's like, yes.
They keep making that.
Oh, God. It's crazy. And I was like, stop it.
I still like that. What did he say?
Oh, there's a scene where Jacques is like the guy that works out in the bar. He's and he's doing. All you hear is this sound, and Don Knotts and Tim Conway are approaching him, and Don Knotts goes, "What do you suppose Jacques doing?" He's like, "Sounds like he's doing push-ups." He makes that sound when you're doing push-ups. Stupid line, but I love it. It's awesome. Watch Private Eyes.
Watch it for sure.
You will thank us.
So we're going to take a little break. We'll be back for the last third of the Arturo Fuente 858 Sungrown. I almost said Ashton VSG. All right, so we're back for the last third of the Arturo Fuente 858 Sungrown.
Yep, I'm already into my final third.
Yep, I'm getting there.
It's a little bit complex. It changes a touch.
It changed a little bit. Get a little stronger in the last third. A little more flavors come in. That earthiness is still there, but now there's a little bit of a kind of
a baker's spice is what I'm getting. Yeah,
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, certainly not red pepper. Certainly not cayenne. There is some cedar notes in here too.
Yeah,
we
there
haven't
is.
talked about the cedar notes.
Yeah,
There
very
are some
much so.
cedar notes in here, big time.
Yeah, big time, especially on the lingering flavor is very cedary, and the retrohale has some cedar to it along with the spice. So it's definitely a tasty damn smoke.
I would literally light another one up after this. If we had time and everything, I would light another one.
Yeah, it's an easy smoke. I mean, it's just full of flavor and very easy to smoke, and that's why I think Fuentes do so well, because you smoke one and you want to smoke another one.
I just
And you
came
wanna
up with
smoke another
something, and I'm going to throw it out there. You might have heard this before because you're on the forums and everything.
one. Okay.
In my mind, I just made this up.
Okay.
Okay. This is a conversational cigar, meaning you don't have to think about it a lot. You're getting enjoyment out of it. You're getting flavor out of it, but you don't have to think about it. And you can actually sit and have a conversation with somebody instead of thinking, what is this? What am I getting here? What am I getting here? No. You're having a nice cigar. It tastes good, and you can have a conversation and not really worry about the cigar.
Yeah.
So I'm going to call this a conversational cigar.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
Yep. I would say that it's
46 episodes, and I finally made sense.
Yeah, it's just because it is. You know what you're going to get. You're not going to get a whole lot of transitions. You're not going to get something that you're going to have to think about a whole lot. But you're going to get a good cigar.
Yeah.
So it's going to taste good. It's going to be consistent. If you go grab one, in any humidor, which most people carry Fuente, and they're going to have the 858 line.
Yep.
That you're going to get a consistent smoke. So you can go out, talk with your friends, have a good time. Like I said, you don't have to worry about it. But when you get a lot of these smokes, like what was that? The AK hybrid we smoked the other day, a couple weeks back, was not a conversation smoke because that cigar had so many changes that if you were talking to friends or doing something else, you would
You'd miss
totally
something,
lose it.
and you don't want to do that. You'd be like, I want to concentrate on this one.
Yeah, but it's almost too much. Like I said, it wasn't a well-balanced cigar because it had so many changes. It was like you said, almost every puff was like something different. But that's a great smoke to sit and enjoy, read a book, with a nice glass of scotch, and just take it in because there's a
Look
lot
at
of
the
changes.
sunset
Yeah,
and stuff
exactly.
like that,
But that's not a cigar you're going to want to sit with your friends
That's
and
a
hang out and talk
reflective
with.
cigar.
It's
That's how I've come
reflective.
up with two different terms: a
Reflective,
reflective cigar
yes.
and a conversational cigar. Yeah.
And this could be a good, it could be a good golf smoke because you don't have, like I said, you don't have to think about it.
Once
You can
you're
play
not
golf with your
thinking about
friends. You can put it
But
down.
yet you're getting a good smoke. You're getting a lot of good flavor. And
And one of the things I love about Fuentes is, did you have to relay yours?
I did during the
okay.
creature feature, but I didn't even purge, and it tasted the exact same when I lit it.
They stay lit. I mean, you can leave it for 3, 4, 5 minutes, and it's still going to stay lit as long as you're puffing on it good.
I got excited about Private Eyes, so I wasn't paying attention to the cigar. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. But we had a little interesting conversation going on off mic.
Yeah.
I actually spoke to the writer of the movie Vacancy today with Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale. I talked to him for a little bit, and I told him, I said, yeah, I liked the movie a lot, and I said, but I'm sure it wasn't your vision. And he said, no, that's not the movie. I didn't write that movie. He said, I wrote the original draft. He goes, that was not the movie. And you mentioned you have a friend that has written scripts and just gotten butchered in Hollywood. And we segued. We're going to give you kind of a behind the scenes of our conversation. So we segued into, one of the reasons, and we talk about him, but one of the reasons I like Kevin Costner is that he fights for the script. Yeah. And that's why he's considered an asshole in Hollywood, because he's difficult to work with. Well, he's difficult to work with because he's fighting for the script.
Yep.
And you had an Ed Norton story I thought was interesting.
Yep. Yeah. Well, actors, I mean, you hear about, there's certain kinds of actors that do movies for money and actors that do movies for the art.
Yeah.
And Edward Norton, Kevin Costner, these are a couple of actors that do it for the art. Mm-hmm. So Edward Norton was mostly doing independent stuff for a while, but he fancies himself a writer too. Mm-hmm. And one of the things he's worked into his clause in the recent years when he started getting to where he was A-lister was he would do the film, but it had to be the script that he signed on for. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't going to be the script he signed on for, he had to have all of the any of the rewrites had to be approved by him, and or he would have the option to rewrite things.
Right.
So that, makes him seem difficult to Hollywood because they're like, well,
yeah, we want you to shut up.
Yeah, just shut up and
show up.
Just shut up and pretend, But he's more about the overall project. So when he made, when he went total Hollywood and did The Incredible Hulk, he went into The Incredible Hulk under the guise of, this is going to be my Incredible Hulk. I've got the script that we like. This guy I know wrote it. It's going to be this movie. This is what we're making. And they're like, yeah, okay, sure, cool, whatever. Yeah. Went and shot the movie. And when he was done, he was on to another project. They asked the director to go back and reshoot a bunch of stuff without him because they wanted to bump up the action. Right. So a lot of the stuff that he put in there that was really kind of bringing out the character of Bruce Banner and kind of making him seem more human and making you care about the characters of the movie was gone in favor for chase scenes and bombs and stuff like that. Yeah. So he disowned the movie because he's like, that's not the movie I signed on for. Right. And I think there was even a lawsuit at some point or something like that. I remember reading some stuff about that. So
well, For Love of the Game with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
He didn't promote that movie. When it came out, he didn't go on Carson or Leno or he didn't. He disowned that movie as well.
Wow.
Because Sam Raimi and the producers changed a bunch of stuff. They cut out a bunch of stuff. There were scenes that Costner thought were important, and they cut it out. So he said, "Oh, guess what? I'm not promoting the movie." And the movie bombed. Yep. It wound up being a good movie, as is. But I'd like to have seen his vision of the movie because his vision was strong enough that he just said, "Fuck it, I'm not promoting this damn thing."
Yep.
But Mark Smith wrote Vacancy, and he told me the ending that he wrote, and they filmed it. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert: the movie came out in 2007. Okay, 6 years. Okay, they get away in the movie. Yeah. Kate Beckinsale and Luke Wilson get away. Luke Wilson gets gutted in the movie, basically, and Kate Beckinsale escapes. And some guy picks her up in a car, and it's a cop, picks her up in a car, and she thinks she gets away, and then in the back seat you see the mask you realize the cop's one of them. That's what he wrote. They shot it, and then they showed it for a test audience, and they didn't want to see them die. They wanted them to live, so they changed the ending and they live, which I'm fine with because I'm tired of the ending. But you know what? That wasn't what he wrote. That wasn't his vision for the movie. He had a twist ending, and it worked, and I would have bought it.
Yeah,
that ending. But because of a test audience, we have to see what the test audience thinks. Fuck the test audience. Write your fucking movie, make your fucking movie, and put it out there.
Yep.
If they like it, they like it. If they don't, oh well. You were true to your passion and your art.
Yeah, it's amazing it'd be nice to get a list of movies of how it was supposed to have been made and how it was actually made, and is there these other versions of it out there, and can we put it together back the way it was supposed to be made? And there's a couple of them that have been done that way. Apocalypse Now, there's like a producer's cut out there, director's cut.
Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
The first Superman, the Richard Donner version.
Yep. Which was actually shot as one and two together at the same time, and they fired Donner and brought this other asshole in who just screwed stuff up.
Yeah. But and we're trying to get into this. So what do we think? Right. But I that's why I support the independents. You tease me and stuff about it, but I support the independents because for the most part, what they write is what gets made.
Yeah.
Because they're making it themselves, or they found someone who believes in their art and their what they've written, and says, "Oh, let's make this." And fuck the suits. We don't need to hear what the suits say. Yeah. You know, Billy Bob Thornton was on a radio station here in Dallas a few years ago, and I said, "What do you like better, acting, writing, directing, producing?" He said, "Writing is his favorite. Acting is second." He said, "Producing and directing suck because of the suits." He said, "I hate suits, and they've ruined every movie I've ever written."
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why for years he was only calling himself a singer. Remember that?
Yeah.
He wouldn't let you mention that
yeah.
he was an actor because he's like, "No, I'm not an actor. I'm not in movies. Fuck movies."
Yeah.
They've fucked me over a bunch of times. But, you know, this is the guy that wrote Sling Blade, one of the greatest movies of the 90s.
Yeah.
Let him write. Let him, you know, film his vision, because the guy's a hell of a writer, you know?
Yeah. That's what's funny, because there's a movie called Pawn Shop Chronicles he was in recently, and it's got Paul Walker in it. And
I've got it. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, you need to watch it. So what's funny about that movie is there's very much paradigm shifts in the writing. You can tell stuff that he probably had something to do with. Like his character has great lines. It's very witty. His character's awesome. You want to see him on screen more. He's not there enough. Other Vincent D'Onofrio's character's got a lot of great lines. Him and Chi McBride play well off each other. But the rest of the movie is very cookie cutter. And it's a lot of new actors that don't probably have a lot of say. So they just kind of did what was on paper, you know?
Yeah, so.
And it has that feel of a disjointed independent film because people were involved that probably shouldn't have been involved, you know?
Hey, he's got a new one out I want to see. Jane Mansfield's Car. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I heard about that.
I want to see that too. Ron White's in it, so if Ron White's in it, I'm in. But shit, I almost burned
Because
it.
he smells quality acting.
He does.
He spells quality.
He did have one of the greatest lines in Horrible Bosses.
Yeah.
When they're talking about, you know, why they were driving so fast or something. It's like, well, we're drag racing. In a Prius? Well, we don't win a lot. Or I don't win a lot or whatever. Funny. But, no, but that's why I'm an independent guy. Because I feel like I'm getting a truer vision of what was was intended when they wrote the movie.
I think that's for the most part true. You know, it's just, you know, they're going to be, when you get into independent dramas, when you get into independent comedies and stuff, they're going to be better dialogue-wise. There's not going to be a whole lot of special effects. You're going to get really a story, and you're going to be more invested in it. You know, the stuff that Hollywood puts out is dreck. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about 20 years in the future,
Oh my God.
you know, who's gonna remember the Avengers? You know, they'll remember it was a big hit, but that's probably all.
Yeah, but
you
are
know.
you going to remember? But you'll probably remember. I can't remember it.
Sling Blade?
What was the one? Well, yeah, Sling Blade. Shit, it won Academy Award, but the chick wrote it and directed it, and The Foot Locker.
No.
Not
The
Foot
Hurt
Locker.
Locker. The Foot Locker.
The Hurt Locker, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll remember that. I can't remember it. But no, that was a good quality movie. It's
Yeah.
a hell of a movie, and that's more memorable. And I'm not a Brad Pitt guy, but The Curious Case of
Benjamin Button. Yeah.
was a memorable movie. You
Yeah.
know? But, you know, Marley and Me, memorable movie. It's fluff in a lot of areas, but yet it has some heart to it, so you'll remember that movie. You're not going to remember Fast and Furious 4.
Or Wolverine or whatever.
Well, yeah, you're not going to remember that.
You remember parts of it. You remember the action sequences, and that's really it, you know? If they've got enough of those in there and they're good, then people will go see it. So,
And Gene Hackman said in an interview that action movies are the most boring movies to make because you have to sit around all the time and wait for them to set up the stunts and then do the stunt, and then you react to it, and then you go back to your trailer. You know, they're just boring to make.
and he's a badass. We didn't mention in the
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah, he is a badass.
He is a badass. Yeah.
No doubt. And he's retired, and he needs to not be retired.
Well, they don't make movies that he wants to be in anymore.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
the whole part
Yeah,
of
I
it, you
know.
know?
I just hate that Welcome to Mooseport's his last movie. That really depresses me.
Yeah.
Runaway Jerry could have been his last movie. It should have been, because his name is Rankin in the movie, which I always thought was cool. But that was a quality movie.
Yeah.
End on that one. You got to work with Dustin Hoffman, your old roommate. You know, it was Dustin Hoffman, Robert Duvall, and Gene Hackman living in the
That's
same apartment.
ridiculous.
Is that freaking weird?
That's ridiculous.
That is Hall of Fame quality.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
And you know, what's funny about that is these guys, you know, who are considered like Hollywood legends and stuff. You look back on that time, and they were actors because they were good actors. They weren't necessarily good-looking dudes. You know, Gene Hackman's not a looker. Al Pacino's not a looker. Robert
Dustin
Duvall's
Hoffman's
not.
not good looking. No.
Name a known actor now that makes A-grade movies that's not unattractive.
Yeah.
That's ugly. You know, you just can't think of any.
Billy Bob Thornton, but he doesn't make big movies.
He's a secondary role. You know, he does the character bits.
He might be a big star in an indie.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but not.
Yeah,
that's just
Nowadays, if Gene Hackman had come to Hollywood, he'd be a bit player. Yeah. He would be in the secondary role, the cool guy that ran the shop, or the guy that helped somebody do something, and he wasn't a major character because they wouldn't give it to those guys. Yeah. They have to have a face that is going to sell tickets. It happened
in music too. Once MTV came around, like you joke about Barry Manilow. Barry Manilow he was lucky he came out in the 70s.
Yeah.
Elton John was lucky he came out in the 70s. Before MTV, because Elton John and Barry Manilow would not have been successful if they'd come out in the 80s, because they're not good-looking dudes.
Yeah,
by any stretch of the imagination.
And you look at the rock music back when MTV first started up, and all these like hair bands and stuff were all these old ugly dudes, Judas Priest, Scorpions. And those guys were funky-looking dudes, but they were talented. They had music, so they played. But as music progressed with music television, once Bon Jovi hit the scene, everybody's got to be good looking.
They look like Sebastian Bach.
Exactly. or the guys from Warrant or whatever, you know.
And Vince Neil and those guys.
Yeah, so it changed music too. You know, it's just people being stupid.
So I guess it's important. Like I said earlier, you know, if I had come out in the 40s, I'd have probably been a good singer, you know, I'd probably be famous, you know. But when I was born, I couldn't do it today. There's no possible way.
Exactly.
You know, and you probably could, because you've got a rock voice. You could probably make it as a singer had you tried in your 20s.
Yeah.
But no, I knew in my 20s it was like I'm not going to be a singer. I'm a crooner, and I can't, you know.
Yeah, and I didn't discover my voice till I was already in my 30s or whatever.
Really?
Yeah. I was just in a bathroom one day, just drunk off my ass, just
belting out
screaming stuff out. I'm like, I sounded like that guy. I didn't know I could do that. Some guys in the bathroom was like, damn, dude.
Brandon's a good singer. He really is. He's not trained, and I'm not being a dick.
No, I'm not trained
at all.
If
Brandon had any training, he'd be amazing. My voice has suffered. The only reason why I'm halfway decent now, if I'm even halfway decent, is because I am trained.
Yeah.
So thank God I was trained, or I wouldn't be able to sing a note now. But
I'm going to go to the School of Rock and get some training.
But if Brandon had some training, Brandon could be a hell of a singer. He's got an incredible range.
I'd love to do I'd love to just get a garage band and just do like cover songs and stuff on the weekends.
Be in a band. I always wanted to just be in a band. And my brother's in a band. And you know what's funny is my brother and I used to go to karaoke all the time, and he was terrible. And I would tell him all the time, dude, you suck. You're just not any good. You have a loud voice. You can, you know, but you have no idea how to sing. You're flat all the time. You can't hit this, you know. And now my brother is an incredible singer. I don't know. He got better. I got worse.
Yeah.
But he doesn't smoke cigars and drink whiskey.
Yeah.
So, but he's in a band, and it makes me jealous. And last time I went to see him, he called me up on stage because it's a country band, which I don't like to go see him because I could care less about modern country. But, you know, Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish is one of the biggest people in country right now. And so my brother was working in Let Her Cry by Hootie and the Blowfish in his set. So I was there, and he called me up and asked me to sing Let Her Cry. I thought, this is cool. I've done that song at karaoke a billion times. There wasn't a monitor. And if you're a singer, you know you've got to have a monitor. You have no idea what you sound like because that band is so loud you can't hear yourself, even with a mic. And I sang the first verse, and I jumped off the stage and went and sat down. I couldn't hear a note. I don't know what I sounded like. I have no idea. I let him finish the song. His guitar player, who has heard me sing before, comes up to me and he says, it was the monitor thing, wasn't it? And I said, I couldn't hear myself because I got to think, because what my brother, he has an earpiece monitor. Yeah. And I didn't have that.
Yeah, when I go sing with my dad and stuff, I always hold my ear, like I'll hold one ear and just so I can hear myself and see if I'm in the right pitch or whatever.
Close.
Yeah, and then I'll just go for it. But yeah. But there's songs, you know, that I the thing when you go to these things with my dad, it's like a million people playing and they all have their own songs they want to play, and it's like I have a few that I want to sing that I know I can sing well, and then I'll sing like 2 or 3 of those and they're like, that's awesome, let's do it. They'll just start the next song and I'll be like, fuck, I don't know that song. I'm like sitting here on my phone trying to look up lyrics and shit, you know, and like I don't know where the changeover is, and I'm like, shit, you know, so it sucks because it's just, you know.
Now we did have a contest, Brandon and I, a few weeks ago. Hello Again by Neil Diamond was playing, and I won. You even admitted I did win. Yep. But that's the song. It's a crooner song. It's a song in my register. Now, if we'd have done, you know, Back in Black, you'd have kicked my ass.
Led Zeppelin or something, yeah.
You'd have kicked my ass.
Yep. I'm a rock singer. That's what I am. I'm good at the rock stuff.
I want to be a rock singer. I wish I had a rock voice.
I can do a lot of that stuff, but
I can't do that. I can do it just the way I did it, and that's as loud as I can do.
AC/DC's rough, man. That guy. Those guys.
Both of them.
They have that upper range where it's just screamy, and you can do it for a song. I could not imagine doing a whole concert like that.
And then doing it then doing it again the next night.
Yep.
And then the next night.
Yeah, and then the next night. That guy always looks like he's trying to take a shit. He's like, what
sounds
is he
like
doing?
it sometimes.
Yeah. It does, yeah. But he's probably doing that because he's trying to hold his shit in so he doesn't crap himself when he's singing. I don't know, it's something.
I am finger burning this. This is a thumbs up winner for me.
Yep, definitely one that should be in everybody's humidor. Get some 858s.
Sungrown.
Yep, Sungrown, natural Maduro.
Yeah.
I like the Maduro a little better than natural. I like the Sungrown a little better than the natural, but a lot of people like the natural, so hey, to each his own.
And it sells like crazy. And it's got a cool box. Have you seen the box for it?
Yeah.
It's a real... Matt, before I was even working here, I guess he emptied out a box. He came out and he handed me this box. And he goes, you can take this home if you want. And I'm like, didn't really look at it. I was like, it's an empty cigar box. What the fuck? And I go, why are you giving this to me? He goes, it's a cool box. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, it really is cool. And my dog's ashes are in that box.
Oh, that's cool.
Because my dog died like a few months later and I put her ashes in there. Yeah.
That's funny. We had a cat that died semi-recently, probably a year ago or so, and that was buried in cigar box ashes too. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
So, and that's, my wife's like, we need a box. I'm like, just looking through all the, cardboard. She's like, no, not cardboard. I'm like, all right, I'll be upstairs. I'll go upstairs, grab a box. And it was I think it was a Cuban box too, for that matter. And she's like, oh, you sure you want to put him in that? And I was like, yeah, that's cool, whatever,
Yeah,
so.
that's cool.
She's buried in a Bolivar Cuban box.
So mine's in an 858 natural box.
Yep. Mine might be evidence. Don't dig up my backyard.
Is that contraband?
Contraband, yeah. A box.
Well, the box is not contraband.
Yeah.
Well, this was a good episode, I think.
Yeah,
I had fun, and this is a great cigar.
Great cigar, yeah. Definitely go get some of these. They're inexpensive and tasty, and you're always going to get a good one. So buy 5, buy a box, throw them in your humidor.
Yeah. And they're hard to find. Not every store gets them. They give you an allotment. What they do with the seasonal stuff is they determine who gets an allotment for that year. So you're not going to find them at every cigar store, but if you do find them, get them because they're definitely worth it.
And if you wanted to order some from the Calypso Cigar with some age on them,
you could call 972-761-9903, and hopefully soon the website will be up and running, and you can order it on the website.
That will be awesome.
But wait, we did only get a box, and so we've sold a few. So you can't get a box from us, but you can definitely get a 5-pack from us.
Yep. So as always, check us out on iTunes, Podomatic, Spreaker, Slam Internet. No, not Slam Internet.
No, what are you talking about? Stitcher.
Old episodes on Slam Internet Radio. The first 9. Yeah.
YouTube, Twitter. I'm at Randy Rankin 43.
iHeartRadio. Mentioned that yet?
Nope. iHeartRadio. We're there. Yep. iTunes. Yeah.
We have the Calypso Cigar Rev, I guess is what it is.
Yeah.
At Twitter.
Yeah.
Just type in Calypso Cigar Review. You'll find it
Rev.
on Twitter.
Yeah. And
Captain Funky Pants on the Twitter.
At Randy Rankin 43. And I do have a few shout outs. We'll do more next week. We just didn't have time. Steve Stein, gentleman from New Jersey, is following us he liked us on Facebook. Jeff Hirschauer, of course.
Ricky Paniagua made a comment on Facebook again.
Zyker is now following me. And that's all I can remember at the moment. Sorry, guys. We will hit you up next time. And
Dan
Gum.
Everybody. We have a couple people commenting on Google Plus all the time. So
that's
we're gonna
cool.
Make a definitive list, and then we'll do it
on
next episode. We keep saying that, but we need the last segment of the next episode is going to be like just a list of names.
Going to be a list of names. But we thank you all for everything, and keep doing it. Keep commenting, keep liking, keep following, subscribing, whatever you can do to help us out, because we appreciate it.
And get the word out about smokes.
And hello to the dude in Brandon, Mississippi who listens to us, who knew Todd Vance.
Exactly. So as always, it's been great smoking with you.
See you later, Brandon.
See you later, Randy.